What's up, everyone? It's Monday. How are we all doing? It's the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host, Craig. As always, you're very, very welcome along to tonight's stream. How the hell are we? It's the end of the English bank holiday. It wasn't a bank holiday over here in Ireland, but it was still a relaxing day nonetheless. How the hell is everybody feeling tonight? Look, we'll go through all the news. You know the news about Jurgen Klopp. You've probably heard the kicker interview. We'll go through it all. We'll talk about what this entails. We'll talk about how you're all feeling about it. And you know what? We'll go through anything else Liverpool related that you guys want to. It is your show. Let me know what you want to talk about, ladies and gents. I see a lot of people in the chat already. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Really, really appreciate your time. I'm a little bit tired today, ladies and gents, so bear with me as I try to muddle through this stream. I say that like it's going to be shit. It's not going to be shit. It's going to be fun. It's always fun. Anthony, how are you, mate? Jack, Pat, Ray, Joanne, Will, can't be arsed, Harry Smith. That was not the deal. Good evening to you and everybody else is in the chat as well. David, Jaden, Brad, anybody else I've missed out on. How are we? No, Craig, please tell me this is fake. I will cry. Well, nothing is decided, mate. Nothing is fake. Nothing is real. It's all just conjecture. And we will go through it. Don't worry. We'll wait for some more people to come in, but we will go through it. Crosby Red, good evening to you as well. Camsey, how are you, sir? Paul McCormick. Ella is in as well. The Maharani's Closet. Wow. Feels like a while, mate. It feels like a while. But I agree with your first comment there. Wait till 2021 to be bothered. Exactly. Look. Ladies and gents, let's start off tonight's stream by talking about the stream title. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's all over social media. It's all over mainstream media. It's starting to look more and more like perhaps Jurgen Klopp will take a sabbatical from football when his contract runs out at Liverpool in 2022. Now, nothing yet is certain. He seems to be addressing the issue more and more, though, in the media. And in a recent interview with, I think it was Kicker. It was a German publication anyway. He went on to say that he feels like he might need a year away from football. He said he can't do things half-arsed. He puts 100% of himself into everything that he does. And if he feels like he can't give all of himself at that moment in time, he'll move on and he'll take a year's sabbatical. And that's okay. It's 2022 we're talking about here. It's only 2019. 3 years, I've said this over and over again, 3 years is a really long time in football. And anything can happen in that time. So I don't want people to stress out about it. Klopp, I like his honesty, actually. I find it quite refreshing that he's come out and spoken quite openly like this about it. And 3 years, anything can happen. 3 years we could have won a shitload of trophies. 3 years everything could have fallen apart. It won't, but it could. Hey Craig, how are you? I'm in Spain enjoying 32 degrees, said Jaden. Lovely. Enjoy it, mate. As you said, it's your holidays. Have a good time. There's only one Jurgen Klopp, said James Hardy. It's mind games. Klopp won't leave. I think he will, you know. I honestly, Robert, I get the feeling that he will. It is possible he'll sign a contract extension between now and then. But I get where he's coming from. He will have been at Liverpool, I think, 7 years when that contract is up. And he will have given everything to the cause. Well, 6 or 7 years. He will have given everything to the cause. I can only imagine the toll it takes managing a club at the top level like that. Living it, breathing it every single day of the week as he does. If Jurgen Klopp decides that he wants to take a year's sabbatical, who the hell are we to begrudge him that? He will have given everything to this football club and will have left us in a better place than when he arrived. Now, in saying that, it is all just if, ands or maybes, but it is looking a little bit like that's his way of thinking. The Irishman said 2022, it's a long time. It's a really long time, mate. As you said, 3 years in football, like 3 months in football can be a long time. I noticed, I was reading through the chat before I came on tonight, and I noticed that a couple of you guys were talking about the Solskjaer situation at Manchester United. And that moved quickly. 3 months is a long time there. From Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being, you know, possibly the greatest thing to happen to United in a few years to now, where people are already starting to question his tactical attributes and whether he's fit for the job. So as I said, look, Jurgen Klopp's a different situation. We know Jurgen Klopp's pedigree. We know how good he is. We see what he's doing at the football club. But I want to just say, respect the man's wishes, whatever that might be. If Jurgen Klopp feels like that's the end of his cycle and he needs a year's break, it will be sad. Of course it will. I'd love him here for 10 years, but I just want what's best for him, same as I want what's best for the football club. And somebody told me before, and I have no idea how true this is or isn't, so maybe somebody in the chat can help me out. Somebody told me that perhaps it's because his father passed when he was young. I don't know if that's true or not. And maybe he questions his own mortality, or he looks ahead to the future and doesn't want to be in management at 60, 65 years of age. So I'll leave it to you what you think. The comments are out there for everybody to read. This, you see, he is something he's addressing more and more as the weeks go by. Probably because he's been asked about it a lot more, to be fair. We love Klopp. We don't want another Wenger, said Happily Eggs. Is Redknapp ever going to be a manager? I hope not, Mossy. For the game's sake, I hope not. Can you imagine that? Nice guy. He looks like a decent fella and all, but doesn't look like he's cut out for management. Eric said Klopp only spends 7 years at a job. If he spends longer, it'll be because he wants to. Give it to Pep and Linders in the caretaker role for 6 months and see how he feels. Don't do a Shankly. Again, I don't know what to say. As somebody pointed out earlier on, 2021 is probably the time to really look at this. We don't know what's going to happen then. And I agree with a lot of people about Pep Linders, by the way. I think he's probably being groomed to be a manager at this club in the future, and I've no problems with that whatsoever. I know how highly he's rated in Europe amongst coaches, but it's just a matter of could he make that transition? Could he go from being an assistant manager or one of Klopp's first team coaches straight into managing Liverpool Football Club? I don't know, but them conversations will be had as the future goes, or the future comes nearer. Obviously the club will keep an eye on Steven Gerrard's situation, see what happens there. There's a lot to go through, but look, it's 3 years away. Hopefully we're talking about a couple of Premier Leagues, maybe another European Cup and a domestic cup or two in between now and then. It's sad days to think about the day Jurgen Klopp might leave, but, you know, let's be realists about it. The channel will go on. The fucking channel will definitely go on. Sorry, the club will go on. I was reading somebody's comment there and I got distracted. Yeah, the club will go on. Larissa said, Craig, I'm new, loving the channel already, hope you're well. I am, Larissa, thank you. I'm really tired, but yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just a reminder, ladies and gents, I won't be here tomorrow, so there's no late night agenda tomorrow night. We will be doing a live Fantasy Premier League show. I won't be on that show. It'll be Brian and it'll be Billy that'll be doing that show for you guys tomorrow night. That'll be going out live at 8:45pm. But other than that, there'll be no show tomorrow night. It's my day off, as you know. Tuesday is the day I see my psychologist, and I need that day to rest and recuperate afterwards. So no late night agenda tomorrow. But look, we've loads of time tonight. Lots and lots for us to talk through. George said, offer him a 10-year deal and he will stay. Trust me, no lies talk. The offer's there, George. That's the thing, mate. The club has let it be known that if Jurgen Klopp indicated for 1 second that he wants to extend, that contract will be put in front of him straight away. They're trying to be respectful here of Jurgen Klopp's wishes and allowing him time to look at the situation maybe a little bit closer, look at his family situation, see how everybody feels. It is a lot. I mean, he's a family man. His wife and his kids, they have to be taken into account here as well. I just want the best for him and I want the best for the club, and it's a long time. It's a long, long time before we need to worry about it. Does this fan base have a name? What do you mean by fan base, Billy? I'm not sure what you mean, mate. Good evening, Craig, said John Cable. How are you, buddy? I'd be happy to, with Linders as caretaker, if Klopp wanted the year out, said Colin Higgins. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I suppose I haven't really thought it through, but I don't know how I'd feel about Klopp taking a year away and then coming back into the same job. It would be odd. I'm not going to lie, it would be odd. It would be odd with regards to transfers that summer as well. Interesting. Something I probably have to think through, but yeah, I don't know. I think a clean break, maybe. If he was to take a year out and come back wouldn't really make any sense to me. That's just my way of looking at it, though. 3 more years to win trophies. Let's make the most of it, said Tippy. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Love it. More positive stuff like that. In Klopp we trust, said Mossy Kyo, 100%. I'd love Jamie Carragher at Liverpool, said Anthony Cronin. I'm shocked he didn't go into management. Somebody said before it was because of his family life, I think. Or that may have been one of the reasons, because he wanted to, you know, not have that stress and the maybe upheaving his family and moving them all the way to wherever he might be manager. He did look like somebody who would walk into management, and if I was to bet on which one of the former Liverpool players would end up being a manager between him and Stevie G, I would have definitely gone for Jamie Carragher. His football knowledge is tremendous and he's definitely a student of the game, as is of course Stevie G. But even here in Jersey Dudek talking about Steven Gerrard when they were playing together, he didn't even think he was going to go on and become a manager. So like he said, he had all the attributes there. He had leadership abilities in the changing room. But yeah, unlike you, mate, I would have thought maybe Carragher. David Wagner as next manager, pass, mate, pass on that one. We need proven elite level management or somebody from within who knows how the club is working, which would be like the Pep and Linder style of it. But other than that, if we were to look outside and Gerrard wasn't ready, we need top level. Like, we need somebody to come in and keep us right up there challenging for all the major trophies. Lens-based media said, let's look on the bright side. If he does leave, then players and fans know the deadline and can get on board, get staff players a period of time to focus their efforts back to the team. Exactly. Always somebody who likes to look on positives, mate. Well in. Shea Trainer said, hopefully we will dominate for the next decade. Hopefully. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice, Shea, to stick a few more trophies in the cabinet. Elijah John 5 said, Craig is right, let's talk about Klopp when he leaves. All too irrelevant now as he's here for a long time still. And that's it, and let's enjoy him while he is here. I mean, 3 years of Klopp, I still pinch myself. I know I've said this on streams before, I still pinch myself that Jurgen Klopp's managing Liverpool Football Club. The day that broke, it was confirmed, I was so happy. I was so fucking happy. I couldn't have thought or asked for a better manager. V for Vigdetta said, I'd like Klopp to have a sabbatical so long as he's another 4-year deal after that. And what would everybody feel about that? Would everybody be happy if he took a year off and came back to the job? I genuinely don't know how I'd feel about that. I have to admit, it's weird. It's like your missus saying to you, I want to separate for a year because I need some time to go travelling around Europe, but I'll be back in a year's time and we'll get back together then. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I mean, probably a bit of a strange comparison by me, but what do you guys think about it? What age you lad? I'm 16, highest break is 56. I don't know if that's fucking aimed at me, Mark. Snooker wise, I think you're talking about my highest break in snooker is in the 30s somewhere, mate, and that was when I was actually playing it quite a bit and still quite crap at it. Enjoy him while he's here, said Elijah John 5. Not talking about him when he's still here. George said, I agree, Craig. Nice to see somebody agrees with me for once. This is just drama. Klopp's going nowhere, said Dara. I don't know, Dara. I think he will, you know. I honestly have a feeling that he will. The more you hear him talking about it and the more you see him, yeah, I think he might, mate. I think he may in 2022. But look, it's 2022. So long between now and then. Is Klopp leaving for sure? No, Rabadan, I owe you an apology, mate. I see your super chat in there. I owe you an apology from yesterday. I missed one of your super chats, so I do apologise for that, mate, sincerely. But this time you said maybe Roy is available in 2022. Shudder, mate. I shuddered reading it. Oh God, the thoughts of it. Immediately flashbacks to Joe Cole and Paul Konchesky. No, thank you very much. Ole is the next manager, said Danny. Nah, mate. Nah. Definitely not. Oh, the last thing we need is that fool at the wheel. Nah. Can you imagine? Scenes. Klopp versus Tuchel, no problem. I don't want Thomas Tuchel either. I don't want to beat Tech Klopp. Yeah, I think if Klopp was to move on, I don't know, we'll address the situation then. I'm sure the club will have succession planning in place. Peter van der Shan said he lays the foundations just like Shankly did. He's the only one who can do what Klopp's done. Pochettino be perfect after Klopp. I do like Pochettino as a manager, I have to say. I think he's a very good manager. He's proven that at Spurs, and I think he'll go on to prove it wherever he goes after Spurs, whenever he might leave. And he'll be a sought-after manager as well. I mean, getting Spurs to a Champions League final, that won't go unnoticed by Europe's big clubs. Not being disrespectful to Spurs there. Sorry, that wasn't my intention. I'd be happy if he came back after a year, said Happily Eggs. He'd have had time to reset and think about the game. He would have new ideas and be fresh. But do you think he could switch off? That's what I wonder. If he said, yeah, look, I'm taking a year off and I'm coming back after a year, do you not think he'd still... I mean, let's put ourselves in that situation. You'd still be dipping in, wouldn't you? You'd still be thinking about it. You'd still be perhaps looking ahead at transfers. You'd still be watching the games. You probably couldn't fully switch off knowing that your job is there to come back to. I don't know if he'd get the rest that he hopefully wants. Or I say hopefully wants, that he might want. It's a real pity that Klopp doesn't want to stay longer. Well, we don't know for certain, Shay, mate. We don't know 100%. But I understand. I mean, if he's thinking about his health, he's thinking about his family. I love Jurgen Klopp. And I want Jurgen Klopp to be in this world for a very long time. So if he feels he needs a year to reset, you know, who are we to begrudge him that? But we don't know. It's all conjecture at this moment in time. 3 years left, though. 3 years left. What do you reckon? In those 3 years, are Liverpool going to lift the Premier League title? What do you think, ladies and gents? Give me a thumbs up if we are. Give me one of these or whatever the fuck they're called if you don't know, and one of these if you're a miserable bastard. Or bitch, excuse me. I don't want to single out and forget the ladies. Simeone would be my only replacement, said Mark. Me and May. I like Diego Simeone. I like his personality. But I could not sit through 4 years of Diego Simeone football at Liverpool and 1-0 after 1-0. I couldn't sit through it, mate. I know we could probably win stuff. I know he's a good manager, but Christ almighty, his teams are boring to watch. Stuart Ferguson said Torben Picnic looks like good manager. Sokratis as his assistant coach. Pass. Would I have Simeone? No, I wouldn't. Just because I couldn't sit through the style of football after having Jurgen Klopp for 7 years. Nah. And he's a great manager though, Diego Simeone. I'm not undermining his managerial capabilities. I would just rather somebody who plays football. Like if Diego Simeone came in with the squad that we have, he'd have to alter everything to suit his style of football unless he was willing to change. And I don't think he is, because that seems to be the way he likes to set his teams up. Joseph Stalin said, if my idol becomes our manager, I'd be buzzing. I'm guessing that might be Stevie G, mate. What else we got? If Ollie takes over, what's this Ramadan said? If Ollie takes over, I'll support Tranmere. I mean, fair fucks to Tranmere. Like, it'd be nice for you to go and visit them, but yeah, I get what you're talking about. Can you imagine showing up in his little Liverpool kit like when he was younger? Although I think that might have been Photoshop, but let's play along and say it wasn't. Curtis Dalton said, I think Klopp will leave, Craig, but in 2022 he would have given our club the greatest memories of our lives. Let's enjoy the next 3 years, possibly, because he'll give 110%. Very well said, Curtis. I completely agree with you. Luke said Guardiola took a year out. Yeah, Klopp was planning on taking a year out, wasn't he, after he left Dortmund? And yeah, he ended up at Liverpool because we sacked Rodgers. So yeah, I mean, a lot of managers, as you said, Guardiola looking to take a year out. I can understand the stresses and the pressures of being a manager at an elite level club like that must be unbelievable. I mean, we spoke about Mourinho at Manchester United, right, as an example. And we spoke about how he looked like he aged 20 years during his period there. You can see that across other managers as well. It must be stressful as hell. I remember seeing something many years ago. I think Sam Allardyce was hooked up to a heart monitor. I know. I can already see the jokes. But yeah, during the games, like, the pressure and the stress on his heart, or on all managers' hearts, must be just crazy. Especially somebody who is as expressive as Jurgen Klopp is with his emotions. Like, it must take an awful toll. Happily Egg said he'd think about the game with the pressure and the results. Exactly, he would. If you took a year off knowing you'd be coming back, it wouldn't really be a year off. What's this said? Leo was the best, said Pep took a year off and came back better, so you can trust that Klopp will do that too. Yeah, but Pep didn't take a year off and come back to the same club, mate. Therein lies the difference. He went to a fresh challenge. Jeremiah said a year out is small club mentality. Klopp isn't bigger than Liverpool and life will go on without him. I kind of agree with where you're coming from. I kind of do agree with you, mate. I don't think he'd disrespect the club like that either. I think if he does take a year out, it'll mean he's removing himself from Liverpool Football Club, and the club will move on. I mean, it would be very undermining of the person who was to come in for a year as well. Yeah, it is interesting. Craig, apparently Fiorentina have made a loan offer for Bobby Duncan plus possibly 10 million. Yeah, I had that down to talk about, so we might as well get straight into it, mate. So let me just grab my notes open here on Bobby Duncan. He was left out of Liverpool's squad today. So Liverpool under-23s were playing against Southampton today, and Bobby Duncan was left out of that squad. The guys actually won the game 4-2. So look, congratulations to the under-23s on that good away win. But there have been reports recently that Fiorentina and is it FC Nordland, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, have made attempts to sign him. I didn't hear about the 10 million thing, but I did hear that they're interested. Now, I don't know what to make about this. I don't know if Bobby Duncan's kicking up a fuss. I don't know if he's trying to force the way out. I don't know if he's getting impatient because he's not getting enough opportunities. But the guy's 18 years of age. Time is most certainly on his side. Now, if it's a year loan and he wants to go and get experience somewhere, I mean, maybe the club will address it. But if he's trying to force a way out, and I don't know if he is, I don't know the situation intimately enough to give you that information, we'll move on. As a club, He went from Manchester City to Liverpool, spoke about how happy he was to be here. Obviously, Steven Gerrard's cousin, banging in goals for the under-18s and the under-23s. If he moves on and he wants to move on, that's his professional decision. We'll be fine regardless. I don't really have strong feelings on Bobby Duncan. I'm not somebody who can or has taken to him yet, if you get where I'm coming from. I spoke to you guys about this yesterday, and that Glatzel would probably be my favourite of those two if I was to pick one. I know obviously Glatzel's out with a serious knee injury, but if Bobby Duncan wants to move on, then Bobby Duncan will move on. If he wants to go on a year's loan and come back, great. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out, and same with Ryan Kent as well. I mean, more and more stories coming out about Kent perhaps going up to Rangers again. Loads of people with the thumbs up there. Nice. Thank you very much. Good. Liz, Jasmine as well. Thank you. Sebastian. Mark meeting, of course, this year. Nice. You're a silly man. Dylan, mate, I'm going to give you a little lesson, a little educational lesson between me and you. One, if you're going to troll, try to be good at it. And two, it's you are a silly man, not your. The amount of people that come in trying to troll and that don't know the difference between your and you are. I suggest maybe, I gather you're still in school, Dylan. I'm guessing you're a school-going child, so I'm not going to go harsh here, but maybe go to your teacher tomorrow, mate, explain that you don't know the difference between your and you are. I'm sure he or she will be happy to help you out, mate, but your Uncle Craig is here if you need me, Dylan. That's all I'm saying. I'll educate your ass if needs be. Feel free to submit your homework, mate, and we'll see. But it's not looking good at this moment in time, mate. I'm going to give you a D and a little note that says can do better. Alright, Dylan? Are we alright, buddy? He won't be able to take a year off, said Joanne Fisher. Think you could do a couple of months off, a long holiday, Craig. Yeah, a year's a long time, Joanne, isn't it? It is. I think that's kind of what happened when he came to Liverpool, maybe. Like when Rodgers got the boot, he came in. I wonder if it would be the same. I wonder if he'd be on a year's sabbatical and maybe 3 or 4 months into it, a manager gets fired and a job comes up and, it works out. I don't know. I don't want to think about it because I know he's here and I know that he himself will be fully focused on this season and he'll be fully focused on Burnley at the weekend, and he won't really be thinking about 2022 because, as he said, he doesn't know how he's going to feel in 2022, and none of us do. I think he's been very honest about this, and it's one of the things I love about Jurgen Klopp is he's speaking honestly. He's not just paying lip service. He's not just blowing smoke up our ass. He's been honest about it, and it's one of the reasons we love the manager. Crosby Red said a lot can happen in 3 years. Stevie G may have had a couple of years managing a Premier League team. Pep Linders may step up, or Jurgen Klopp may even change his mind and stay to 2025. Exactly, I agree with everything you've said, Crosby Red. No arguments here, mate, whatsoever. What else have we got? 3 years, 3 titles, said Rabadam. 3 years, 3 titles. Wouldn't that be fucking great, mate, wouldn't it? Peter Van der Shan says, how about this? 2022, Klopp takes a year out, Gerrard takes over, and then Klopp comes in and both of them take Liverpool to new heights. Oh, that wouldn't work out. These double managerial pivotal things, they never work out, mate. Somebody always shows through as a leader, and somebody always shows through as being more forceful and a dominant personality in those situations. We had it with Evans and Houllier all those years back, and it never works out, mate. Having, 2 alpha males like that, Jurgen Klopp and Steven Gerrard, even with the best intentions in the world, both of them, fully respectful to the club, I just couldn't see that situation working out. Maul said, Craig, I think Julian Nagelsmann would be a banging replacement. I don't like that lad. Maul, I don't like that gilet wearing disrespectful motherfucker. I didn't like his attitude when he was coming to Anfield with Hoffenheim, mate. I know he's moved on from Hoffenheim since, but I don't like Nagelsmann. I don't want to be looking at just German managers as a lazy option to replace Jurgen Klopp. Yeah. 3 years though is a long time. A new manager could come through. Somebody else could make a stake a claim for themselves as a new up and coming manager. I do like the Pochettino shout though, I'm not going to lie. I do like that one from earlier on. John Sinnott said, evening Craig, how are we, mate? If Gerrard's not ready by then, would you take Brendan Rodgers back? Do you know the funny thing is, I was actually talking to Anthony, Leicester City FC Boya, about Brendan Rodgers. When they took over, I was speaking to Lee Chappie as well from Leicester City 100, and we were talking about Brendan Rodgers and his time at Liverpool Football Club. And I know people look back at this in different ways, but I honestly really rate him as a coach. Now, as a coach, on the training ground, doing his bits and pieces. And I think the Liverpool job came too early in his career. I think if Brendan Rodgers took the Liverpool job 10 years later on in his career, it may have worked out a little bit better for him. He did throw players under the bus. He did do some fucking stupid things. But again, experience, that will all hopefully have sorted itself out by then. So I don't think I'd want him back, but I do still believe that Brendan Rodgers will go on and have a good career as a manager. I think he's a very good coach. A lot of wrinkles can appear in 3 years, said Elijah John 5. Of course, in the next 3 years, we should at least have a Premier League title and also Mbappe. Hashtag 2020, Shay. Klopp was on a sabbatical when we got him first time. He definitely wants a break, said Mr. Morrissey. And I kind of agree. I think he's setting us up for 2022. I mean, setting us up to get us ready, lay the foundations. But hopefully, we'll have had a couple of Premier League titles by then, as I said, maybe another Champions League, couple of domestic trophies, a World Club Championship. Yeah, it'd be pretty damn good, wouldn't it? Simeone is Stoke on steroids, said Lux. Stoke on steroids. That's a strange phrase even to say, Stoke on steroids. Charlie Dalton said, if Klopp leaves, I'll be happy to have the current Wolves manager, Nuno. Unproven enough for me yet. No, he had a period in Portugal, obviously, and now he's gone managing Wolves, but I see things at Wolves that I don't like. As good as they are, as well drilled as they are, as compact as they are, there are things with him that takes him too long to change. There's too many times I've seen Wolves be shit in the first half and then come out with a better attitude in the second half. He's a likeable guy though, Nuno. I will say that, he really is. Jeremiah said Tuchel is a massive fraud. Oh, I'm with you on that, mate. I'm absolutely with you. I don't like BTEC Klopp at all. He hasn't recovered from losing to United. Well, and us as well, mate. Don't forget us. Twice. Borussia Dortmund came to Anfield looking like they were going to go through. Whoopsies, didn't quite happen. Degsy Lovren leapt like a salmon out of the River Boyne. I don't even know if there is salmon in the River Boyne, but let's imagine that there is. He leapt like a salmon out of the River Boyne to put Liverpool through. Then, of course, we beat them 3-2 up when Paris Saint-Germain rocked up to Anfield. And as you said, United knocked them out as well. I mean, fucking banter. Do you know what I mean? Getting knocked out by United. Would I have Luis Enrique? I don't know. That's a difficult one. That's a difficult one. That's one I'd be on the fence on, Darren. Yeah, it's interesting. I actually thought Luis Enrique would have ended up at Arsenal before Unai Emery took the job. Yeah, he's not bad. It's interesting. It definitely is interesting. Allegri's a good manager, said Mrs. Mad. He is a good manager. There are some really good football managers out there, to be fair. I mean, stating the bleeding obvious, but it's just who would fit the club. I mean, when you come into Liverpool, it's not just about being good at your job. It's about getting the club. Jurgen Klopp gets the club. You could tell from day one that he just understood what it was to be Liverpool manager and what the people of Liverpool wanted and what it meant to the people of Liverpool. He's a man of the people, and I think that's what Liverpool need in a figurehead. Lukaku scored for Inter tonight, said Rabadam. I did see that. I was watching the Inter game before I started the stream. They were 3-0 up against Lecce before the stream started, and Christ almighty, the Italian league has some shit in it, doesn't it, with regards to teams? My goodness, that Lecce team were dog shit. Lois, is it Lois? Excuse me if I've mispronounced, said Steven Gerrard, in my opinion. Who doesn't Luis Enrique manage? Isn't he the Spanish national manager now? He used to manage Barcelona. Isn't he the Spanish national team manager now? They chop and change so often I can't even keep up. Jeremiah says Xabi Alonso will progress in the next few years, but he won't be ready for 2022. No, he definitely wouldn't be. Junkie Funky Smith said there's only one guy, and that's Pep Linders. Just keep things ticking over. We don't need another man coming in and destroying Klopp's hard work. Why fix what isn't broke? I mean, I can definitely get on board that Pep and Linders idea. I really can. I do like Pep Linders. And he's paid his dues and will continue to pay his dues over the next few years with Jurgen Klopp. So yeah, absolutely, why not? Mr. Crosby sending me messages live on streams for... It's as if he doesn't know. Oh, I don't know what that's about. I'll go back to it later on. I do know what it's about, but I can't talk about it on stream. Will Klopp take a break and come back or leave for good? My guess would be leave for good if he steps away. It is a big if, but my guess would be that he would leave for good. Would I take Eddie Howe as manager? No, absolutely not. Again, no disrespect to Eddie Howe, but going from Bournemouth to managing a team pushing to win the Champions League and the Premier League, it is a massive jump. He would need a transitional club for me. But I do like Eddie Howe's style of football. I just don't think he's there. And again, another young manager, plenty of time for his career to progress. Antico said, next couple of years, managers us Gerrard, Chelsea Lampard, Arsenal Henry, City Richard. I'd say for Arsenal, rather than Thierry Henry, more likely to be Mikel Arteta than Henry. He's paying his dues, obviously, working under Pep Guardiola. Josiah said, Dortmund coach can do well in Anfield when Klopp leaves. I don't want to just do the lazy route and just go and pick another German Jurgen Klopp-esque type manager to come in. Actually, I don't even know. What's the manager? Is the manager of Dortmund? Who's managing Dortmund? Is it the guy that went from Ajax? Again, they changed coaches. I can't remember. Who the fuck is managing Dortmund? Somebody refresh my memory at this moment in time. Definitely no to Tuchel, Neil. He's an absolute fraud. I don't rate Thomas Tuchel one bit. Rafa would have a great squad. Could win the league with Rafa. I'm not going to lie, mate. Rafa back. I mean, it does tickle me nuts a little bit, if I'm being honest about that. The thoughts of Rafa back. Imagine Rafa with the money that we have now at Liverpool Football Club. I mean, I want Klopp to stay. That's my first preference. Above all else, I want Jurgen Klopp to stay. But I could get on board Rafa coming back. Christopher McVicker said, people saying Stevie G, players don't always make good managers. Yes, he's doing well with Rangers, but most people could do good in that league. Yeah, I would, again, like I said many times, I think a transitional job for Steven Gerrard, maybe a club in the Premier League, maybe let's say a Wolves. Again, I'm not expecting Nuno to get sacked. I'm just throwing names out there. A Wolves, a Leicester, some mid-level, maybe pushing for Champions or Europa League level club in the Premier League. I think would be good for him before he came to Liverpool. Somebody that we don't basically have a rivalry with, so there will be no bad blood there, if you get where I'm coming from. Antonio Conte is a good manager, likeable too, said Liam Buchan, excuse me. He is. I do like Antonio Conte, I have to say. Another manager who got a very good hair transplant, much like Klopp. Just moved to Inter Milan, of course, so, back to the Italian league that he knows so well. Which great manager would only come in for a year? Nobody, mate. And as I said before, I wouldn't agree with him taking a year and coming back to the job. It just wouldn't feel right to me, personally. Will any of the current English Premier League managers reach top level? I think Eddie Howe could well do. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers is Northern Irish, so we can't really count him in that. I mean, Steve Bruce definitely isn't fucking going to hit the top level. I suppose it depends on what you call top level. Potter looks like an interesting coach. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on over his career. Tuchel is a fraud, said, is that 000 or ooh? I don't know. We'll go with ooh, because that sounds funnier. I'm sure I seen Crosby there a second ago. I'm sure I did. Where has he gone? Bournemouth story is impressive, Rabadan. You're right, mate. It really fucking is. And for them to stay up as well in the league and play the style of football that they do, which at times, kind of does play into the hands of a team like Liverpool. But yeah, came straight on to see if you would check it. I always check in case it's something important, in case I've fucked up something or I've forgotten something. UK lad said, that's why I don't ever want to lose our football philosophy, style of play and the type of players that we go for. Get where you're coming from. How long will I stream? Until 11:15, mate. Same every night. Well, every night that we stream. Messi's Red Beard, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Will I be on tomorrow? No, I won't be here tomorrow, mate. I don't do Tuesdays because I see a psychologist on Tuesdays and I take that day off because it's my day. It's my day for me. But Brian and Billy will be here with the Fantasy Premier League show tomorrow night at 8:45, so there will be some content. Christian Dodd said a Klopp replacement should not be Gerrard or other ex-players. Liverpool should get Ancelotti. Like, let me say this really calmly and clearly. Fuck Carlo Ancelotti at Liverpool. No. I mean, I remember that conversation when it was Jurgen Klopp, and it looked like at the time Ancelotti was available, I think, and people were going Ancelotti or Klopp. Not Ancelotti for me. No. We're not the right type of club for Carlo Ancelotti. I don't think it would be a good fit. Not going to disrespect his managerial career because, you know, he's won a shitload of things, but I don't think Carlo Ancelotti in Liverpool will be a good fit. And I'm watching to see how he gets on with Napoli as well. It won't just be a Klopp replacement, also a VVD replacement. So Jeremiah, 3 years time from now? VVD's 30, mate. He won't be finished at 30. VVD will have another 3 or 4 years left on him. What else we got? I think Patrick Vieira would be a good candidate for Arsenal. Yeah, he's serving his time as well. Is he still at Nice at the moment? Lucien Favre, somebody else said. A few people actually have said Lucien Favre. Ljungberg has also been groomed as a manager for us, said Jeremiah, with regards to Arsenal. Dortmund manager. Yes, there you go. Thank you. I'm glad I was the only one that wasn't 100% sure. Graham said, Arteta is a Rangers man. He'll be manager after Stevie G. I don't know, will he? I think he might want a bigger job, Graham. Particularly after spending time working under Pep Guardiola like that. I think he might want a bigger job than Rangers, with all due respect to them. There you go. Original Gunner said Peter Bosz is a guy from Dortmund who got sacked. Yeah, did he used to manage Ars or Ajax, then went to Dortmund, then got sacked, and now he's managing Leverkusen, as you said. Rafa's tactics are too different. Well, Rafa can play in different ways. That's the thing. It depends on who he has available. I mean, we did play some good attacking football under Rafa Benitez at times. Let's not forget that. At Newcastle and stuff, his job was to not concede goals and to try and eke out games 1-0 and stuff like that. So I think it depends who's available to him. Graham Holmes said Pep Linders and he's young. The boys trust him and he wouldn't be worse. See what happens. Come 5th, isn't quite up to it. We'll go again. Either way, stay with Pep or get a top guy in. Ken reckons Allegri. A good manager. Very good manager, Allegri. What else we got? No, sorry, I said earlier on Allegri. I'm getting Allegri and Conte mixed up at times. Conte's the one that had the hair transplant. Conte's the one that's managing Inter Milan. Sorry, I confused myself there for a while. Why are we even talking about Klopp going? Because he was talking about it, Kit Kat. That's why. There's a few articles out. He did, I think it was Kicker in Germany. He did an interview with, and again he was asked about possibly leaving in 2022 when his contract is up. And he said perhaps he may take a year off. He doesn't know how he's going to feel then, but it looks like it is his plan, I think. We should bring in Nagelsmann. Not a fan of Julian Nagelsmann myself, cocky guy. Yeah, but look, we'll all see this differently. We'll have, if and when this conversation genuinely comes up and we're looking at it, we'll all have different opinions on who the manager should be as well. But as I've said many, many times, let's just enjoy Jurgen Klopp when he's here. And let's move on and have a chat about something else, because no doubt we could talk about this for the entire stream, but there are other bits and pieces that have come out today. So Jurgen Klopp again has come out and defended himself from criticism that he may have rushed Sadio Mane back into the team. Jamie Carragher recently wrote a piece saying he believes Liverpool are a bit over-reliant on Sadio, and speaking about that, Klopp said, I'd love to hear Jamie Carragher if I'd left Sadio out. The punditry is a world-class business. I have to think about it. If I don't do that after my management career, because you can say whatever you want and always put a finger in something. So yes, we try. I did today. I took him off. And I think if I'm 100% right, then Sadio doesn't have to go away on international duty with his teammates after Burnley, which will help him. And then after that, we have a week or two to prepare for the next opponent. With him at least, other players will come back later, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, of course, we have an eye on it. But unfortunately, we are responsible for making a decision how often they can go. So, I don't know what Jamie Carragher was really getting at when he said that we're a bit over-reliant on Sadio Mane. Was he rushed back? It doesn't look like it. Sadio looks absolutely flying at the minute. He looks in great form. Even when he came back to the club after the AFCON, he looked smiley, he looked happy as he always does. He was asked about tiredness, he said it's all in the head. And if Klopp's right, and I'm sure he is, and said he doesn't have to go away on international duty after the Burnley game, then Sadio will get a chance to get some days and get a little bit more rest, because 2 weeks off then between games, I'm sure Klopp will give him a few days to go and recharge his batteries again somewhere else. And I like that Klopp's sticking up for it. I like he's being a little bit of snidiness about it when he needs it. I like that with Klopp. You have to forget about 0-5 and remember Rafa sold Alonso to try and buy Gareth Barry. Look, don't even fucking try and come on and disrespect Rafael Benitez, mate, because it's just not going to be put up with. I don't have to forget 2005. Under Rafael Benitez, mate, we were the number 1 ranked team in Europe. We won the fucking Champions League. We had the best midfield in the world and so many other positives, whilst he was fighting against owners that were fucking him over. I'll give you a little story. I'm not sure if you've read about it before or not. So we went to Athens and we played in the Champions League final against AC Milan in 2007. Rafael Benitez and one of his other coaches had to give up a room so that their 2 wives could stay in it because there wasn't enough fucking rooms to go around. Rafael Benitez was working against some serious stuff when he was here with those owners. And yes, he wanted Barry because he fell out. Players and managers fall out. He fell out with Xabi Alonso over, I think, the birth of Alonso's child or something along those lines, if I remember correctly. But don't disrespect Rafael Benitez and say that we can only remember 2005. Won in 2005 with a pretty average enough squad. Get to the final again in 2007. Number 1 ranked team in Europe. Rafael Benitez is a god to me, mate, and I love him, and I'm forever going to love him. And he loves this city, and he loves the club. Sorry, I'm just not going to put up with anybody pissing on Rafael Benitez. It's just not happening. Not on my stream anyway, mate. Not happening. Paul D said, here's a question for you guys. Do you think you can go unbeaten this season? No. There's my answer straight away, bluntly. I don't even want to entertain. I said this on last night, Paul, not having a go at you at all here, mate. Somebody asked the same question last night, or how long will we go unbeaten for? I think we just have to worry about every single game. Try and take one game at a time, see what happens. But the thoughts of going unbeaten, I think we'd be just setting ourselves up for a fall and hurt down the line. John Sinnott said 0809 Torres with Gerrard playing just behind was one of the best attacking lineups we've had on the Rafa. Their chemistry, mate, they were just on another, like, a ridiculous wavelength, weren't they? Elia said, did you hear Trent's uncle used to be secretary of Manchester United? Nope, didn't. But I'm always happy to learn new stuff. Maul said, I didn't think that Mane is our most crucial player. Bobby's much more important to how we are. I agree. But look, Sadio is important. Of course he is. As is Mo, as is Bobby, as is Fabinho, as is Virgil van Dijk, as is Alisson Becker. Both are fullbacks. It's a good old spine we have in this team, isn't it? Shea Trainer said, if there was a negative about Klopp, what would it be? I think the one that's probably put out the most about Klopp when we're talking about negatives is he takes too long to make changes in games. He takes too long to make substitutions. Now, I've heard Jurgen Klopp give an explanation for this before, and he said that he likes to give the players the opportunity to work out these scenarios on the pitch themselves so that when they're in similar scenarios in the future, that they know how to deal with the situations. So, I get it from that point of view, but I have to admit there have been some times where I've looked at games where it hasn't really been working and thought, he needs to make a change or two here. But who the fuck am I to second guess Jurgen Klopp? That would be my one thing though, Shay, if I could point out any small thing. And it's the most obvious thing, but it is something I've found myself saying at times. So for me, that's the one, buddy, for me. But I'd love to know what you guys think. If you could pick out one small negative about Jurgen Klopp. And look, we're not trying to downgrade or downplay our manager here. We love him. We're just, Shay asked the question, so I thought I'd put it to the group. Even if Klopp goes, we'll still have you, Craig, said Curtis Dalton. Yeah, I'll come in and manage, mate. Big ball fraud. There'll be 2 ball frauds then in the league. Oh, Slidey, shots fired. Boya, how are you, mate? I seen you pop into the chat. I hope you're doing well. Dirk Cout, somebody said. Today was it today? God, how many years ago? Was it 10 years? I have this on my phone. Bear with me 1 second. I want to make sure I get this right because I don't want to disrespect Dirk Cout. Where was it? On this day in 2006, we got to see Dirk Cout make his Liverpool debut. I wanted to get that right because I love Cout. And he's one of my favourite players at Liverpool in the 21st century. The guy's work ethic is outstanding. He gave 100% every single time he stepped on that pitch. And if everybody had Dirk Kuyt's attitude, well, this team kind of do, to be fair. But I love Dirk Kuyt. I really do. So today, in 2006, was the day he made his Liverpool debut. And the rest, as they say, is history. I absolutely love Dirk Kuyt. Do Mo and Bobby have to go on international duty? I don't know, Scotty. You know my stance on international football, mate. I don't pay much attention to it, so I don't know who's been called up and who hasn't. Why do people say Mane and Salah don't get along? Laziness, Nathan, and just looking for reasons to undermine the club. They do. And Adrian came out and spoke about this last week, maybe, and said that the two guys are really good friends and they get on really well. So yeah, I'm like you, mate. I don't understand why people try and put that narrative out there at times. Boya said he met Brendan Rodgers yesterday. What a man. Delighted for you, mate. Well in. Lovely. Always love to hear stories like that. Cameron said, I remember under Rafa he used to make subs around the 60th minute mark. He did. You're spot on. What else we got? Klopp, one of the managers, wants to scrap the early transfer window. Yeah, we spoke about that again yesterday. John Bale, was it? Yes, it was John Bale. I get where he's coming from. And you heard Pochettino as well talking about it, saying that he feels that they're vulnerable at the minute, Spurs, that they can be disturbed, that the squad isn't fully settled because up until September the 2nd, the European window was open, and with the likes of Christian Eriksen there, he feels like Spurs are still under a little bit of pressure because they don't know who he's going to have to work with for the rest of the season. I get it, and I get where Klopp's coming from as well. And it also, apart from the destabilisation effect that it can have on Premier League clubs, it also allows other European clubs to just hang off on players and see who the Premier League clubs don't go for, and then know that they can go after them and probably get them at a lower price because Premier League clubs haven't inflated the market. Okay, so what about the 49 unbeaten we hold? You are now on 20 in the Premier League. I don't know. I don't want to think these things through, Paul, mate. I believe in this team. I wouldn't be more concerned about winning the Premier League than going unbeaten. That would make me happier. I mean, imagine we went unbeaten and still didn't fucking win it because of some ridiculous run City went on. Jeremiah said, Craig, if a player doesn't re-sign with 2 years left on his contract, should you sell him? Yeah, a couple of years ago, Jeremiah, I would probably have said yes. But in this day and age, we've seen it. Let's take Eden Hazard as an example. Top player around Europe, and they still got 130 million for him with 1 year left on his contract. So players getting into that last year on their contract or heading towards the last year, the prices are still quite high compared to what they used to be. Now, you probably would get a few quid more if he had 2 years left on his deal. You probably get a feeling as a club at that point if the player is looking to really negotiate, or if he's paying lip service and maybe angling for a move. But you definitely want to be having the conversations about 2.5 years out, I think, starting to open up that dialogue with the player's agent. Got Cool said, for me, it's his stubbornness. We probably should have signed somebody to challenge for 2+ trophies. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but it is also that stubbornness at times, Got Cool, mate, that means that we didn't get Tarkowski and ended up with Virgil van Dijk because Klopp was willing to wait and hang off to get the man that he wanted. Now, I understand where you're coming from, and I can't sit here in good conscience and say that I didn't want us to sign a couple of players this summer as well. But at the end of the day, if we go to next summer and Jurgen Klopp brings in two absolute worldies who we've been working on for a year, we're probably going to look back to that summer and go, oh, that's why. So all I'm saying basically is I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I believe he's earned that benefit of the doubt. But I do get what you mean about stubbornness. He was full of character, said Boya. Joanne Fisher said, one negative, we didn't get him here to Liverpool sooner. But you're right about the substitute issue, Craig. Yeah, that would be nice to get him here sooner. I love having him here, Joanne. I'm still smiling just thinking about the fact he's Liverpool manager. Dara said, why are we talking about what might happen in 3 years' time rather than what is happening now? Yes, there isn't really much that is happening now, mate, other than preparing for the game against Burnley on Saturday, and we've loads of time to talk about that. Graham Holmes said, I know, Craig, imagine him in there, Cout, Gerrard. What a squad that would be. Yeah, he's just a top lad there, Cout. He really is. Lens-based media said, Rafa's got his Dirk out. Rafa's got his Dirk out. I like it, mate. Well in. Remember, 6-time champions. I'll be back Wednesday, said Callum. Take it easy, buddy. Luke said, we don't want to sound negative here as we got here by being the best in Europe, but timing of the Club World Cup could be a real testing point in terms of our league ambitions. It's only 2 games though, Luke. Sorry, I didn't mean to stick my fingers up there like I was telling you to fuck off. It's only 2 games, mate. That's the way I'm looking at it. Like, worst case scenario, well, best case scenario, worst case scenario for the sports science team. It's just 2 games. So yeah, it's 2 games. It will have a knock-on effect, obviously, moving on down the line. But yeah, it's a nice position to be in, isn't it, Luke? I get where you're coming from, but to be able to go to the World Club Championships as champions of Europe, it's a nice position to be in. December is going to be a nightmare month. It always is for most teams, but it's going to be that little bit more difficult, obviously, for us this year. We did do a piece before, though. I remember Brian Morrissey saying he looked up on this, and there hasn't been a real genuine negative effect for any English clubs that have gone to play in the World Club Championships with regards to their league form. There hasn't been a noticeable drop off in points, so please do bear that in mind. Man United going to beat Liverpool at what? Tiddlywinks? Chess? Wet the biscuit? It won't be football, that's for fucking sure, because United are dog shit. I mean, fair enough, if you're a United fan, you're trying to make yourself feel better about how fucking shite you are right now. Gives one of them smokes, then you have at it, mate, and you tell yourself whatever lies you want to get through the day. But we both know that we'll probably hand you your ass because we're much better than you are at this moment in time. Much better. And that's not me being a fucking arrogant arsehole of a Liverpool fan. That's just facts, mate. That is just facts. What City player would I like at Liverpool? De Bruyne, Silva, in that order, probably. Maybe Silva, De Bruyne. It's very close. If you can guarantee me De Bruyne's fitness, Kevin De Bruyne. But Bernardo Silva would do a job here as well. Sané, I take him as well. I mean, there's probably 7 or 8 players you could pick. City are so good. And it kills me to say that, but they are a very, very good squad. Scotty said, Craig, I saw James Pearce said Liverpool were watching Fabinho for 7 years. It's not unusual, mate. It's not unusual. I had to do it, sorry. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't do the full on Carlton dance though. Yeah, we do. You watch players for a long time. As Brian Morrissey said before on streams, Liverpool will be working on transfers 18 months, 2 years in advance. We got Pog, boom. Okay, mate. Here's a little secret between me and you. Pogba's shite. Did I just say that? I did. He just doesn't look like he wants to be there. Paul Pogba's capable of a lot, but he's just not fucking showing it at Manchester United. He just doesn't look like he wants to be there. We all know he wanted out of the club this summer. United haven't let him go. If you want to talk about Pogba and make yourself feel better, mate, you sit there and wave at your Paul Pogba poster and tell yourself how great Ollie is and how you're going to win the league this year, and I won't burst your bubble. What else we got? Craig, you reckon Harry Wilson getting to the first team next year? Nope. I don't think he's going to make it at Liverpool, mate, if I'm being honest. And I've said this. I haven't seen anything in Harry Wilson yet that makes me think he's going to make it at Liverpool. Scoring a worldy free kick or scoring a goal from 40 yards, it doesn't get through it doesn't fill the amount of boxes or tick the amount of boxes that will need to be ticked in order for him to get in that Liverpool team with regards to work ethic, with regards to his defensive side of his play, with regards to the fact that he goes missing in games a lot. But that being said, he's still a young man, and I am going to watch very, very interested, from a very interested perspective, maybe is what I'm trying to say, how he gets on at Bournemouth this year. But my honest feeling is that he won't make it at Liverpool. He will make it as a professional and he will play in the Premier League. I just don't think he will ever make it to our level. But that's, even though you're talking about the top, 0.5%. UK lad said, in 3 years a lot of our players will be hitting 30 and 30 plus. We've actually got quite a young squad, to be fair, mate. And we'll have more players coming through. I mean, 3 years, God knows what transfers we'll have in at that point as well. Klopp watched Mane since the 2012 Olympics, said Stephen Richards. He did speak about the fact that he wanted to sign him at Dortmund. Bet you wish you'd Marcus Rashford and Lingard up top. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I wish. Yeah, I sit here every day going, do we have anybody who can take a shit free kick many, many times over, and another lad who can be fucking brilliant on Instagram and dog shit on a football pitch? Yeah, Jay Lings and Rashford. That's what I wish we had at Liverpool. Those two. Yeah, fucking sick of it having to look at fucking Salah, Mane, Firmino. God, if only we had Rashford and Jesse Lingard, everything would be better. Life would be so much better. Yeah, state of that, mate. Honestly, I don't actually mind Rashford too much, but Lingard is dog shit of the highest order. Like, he's seriously shit. Live stream Thursday for the Champions League draw? Nah. Nah. I'll do a reaction show on Thursday, obviously, but no live stream. I want to watch it, to be honest. I want to sit back and watch it. And they drag them things out as well. I did one before last year, I think, and what was supposed to be a half-hour show ended up being an hour and 20 minutes because UEFA dragged the fuck out of that show. So, no, I think I'll pass on it this year. But I will do a reaction show to it, obviously. And let's not forget, Liverpool will be in pot numero uno for the Champions League draw. Actually, did I get something on that one? Let me just check my notes. I thought I might have had an image around that. One sec. Nope, I don't. I was imagining it. I thought I had an image on the Champions League draw, but I don't. Marcus Rashford and Lingard's law. Bet you wish you had Bobby Firmino. Of course you do. Sits up at night, looking at his Rashford poster, dreaming that it's Sadio Mane. Roy Keane would demolish Hendo. What the fuck's your point, mate? What exactly is your point? You have to be one of the most... And you're like that little annoying little fucking moth that just won't go away, mate. You just swat, and you're still there spouting shite. You're like a little dog that just bark, 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 bark. Mate, fuck off. You're very annoying. If you want to pretend United are great, fucking tickety-bee, mate. You have at it. Roy Keane came up against Gerrard time and time again, and I enjoyed every single one of those battles. Roy Keane's an excellent footballer, but yeah, there you go, John. Just kick him out. He's obviously a fucking gobshite. Jax Page said, so we're watching Fabinho when he was in Brazil before he went to Real and Monaco. Also knew he would have a brilliant central defensive mid whilst he was a right back 7 years ago. They track players. They track players that long. I mean, a lot of clubs will be doing that. They're tracking players since 13, 14, 15, 16. Might never come of it, but they will have a portfolio of players that they'll be watching for years, the scouts. Graham Sankster said, I think Klopp will be keeping his eye on John McGinn and his work effort. He signed a new contract at Villa, actually, didn't he, McGinn? Ladies and gentlemen, we're only 9 subscribers away from 21,800. If you are enjoying the stream and you're here for the first time or you haven't yet subscribed, if you could do me one little favour and hit that subscribe button and give the channel a thumbs up on the stream as well. We're trying to push on, see how quickly we can get towards 25k, so every single subscription means the world to us. So yeah, hit that button if you're enjoying the stream. Paul Scholes would demolish Gerrard. Paul Scholes was so fucking overrated, Lee Gunner. All he could... Did you not see his tiny little cock as well? Popping over his little shorts, little ginger, Scholesy, little Scholesy with a little dangler. He wasn't fit to lace Gerrard's fucking boots, mate. Let's be fucking frank about this. Couldn't tackle. Was completely overrated. He was a good midfielder, but demolished Gerrard. You can't even fucking spell Gerrard, mate, so there's a reason you got booted out, apart from the fact that you're obviously not very intelligent. Jeremiah said, do you think your brain can only handle so many football opinions? Yeah, it gets tired. It does. It gets tired looking at these gobshite United fans coming in as well. And we get a lot of great United fans, don't get me wrong. We've got some really cool people that come in and say hello, but there's always gobshites that come in trying to be funny, spouting stuff that I know they don't even believe, because nobody is that fucking deluded. You remember Torres had one of the craziest ones. I don't know what that is regards to. Do you think VVD is going to go at any point? Jesus, we're all looking for people to go tonight, aren't we? No, I don't. I actually think the rumours are that he's going to sign a new deal soon, so keep an eye on that situation. John said, Craig, I was already checking his other posts. Honestly, mate, just a gobshite. That's all I can say. I'd say he's out there now fucking jumping on the thumbs down button. Prick, 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 big ball, prick, big ball, prick. It's alright, mate. You knock it out. You work away, man. You hit that button as hard as you want. Still not going to make United any better than they are. Krishna said, nope, you were replying to somebody else. Where are we gone? Pogba is in it for himself, said Luke Plunkett. Team spirit and harmony is something Liverpool have in spades, and in my opinion, it's an immensely important part of success in modern football. Luke, I agree so much with what you said there, mate. The days of just having a team of superstars like the days of Real Madrid with the Galacticos, that's kind of gone now. You need a mix, you need a bit of creative flair, but as you said, and very well said, you need ethic, you need work rate, you need people to put themselves on the line, you need water carriers. They've got to be good, they've got to be tactically aware, and they've got to be obviously top level footballers. But yes, mate, I mean, that is one of my favourite opinions of the night, Luke, or favourite posts of the night, mate. Well in. Benjamin said, how do you feel about Burnley? I think he meant to say, he said Burley. Burnley, being really frank about it, I wish they'd fuck off out of the Premier League. I despise playing Burnley, mate. Yeah, I just don't like playing them at all. I don't mind Sean Dyche, actually. He's very outspoken, but I like how forthright he is. He's not a shrinking violet, but yeah, I don't like playing them. I wish they were relegated, I'm not going to lie. Nothing against the people of Burnley. I don't know many Burnley fans either. It's always a fucking horrible battle of a game. Yeah, I never enjoy the games against Burnley. Maybe that's why. Maybe they, at the back of your mind, kind of always know that it could be a potential banana skin going away to Turf Moor. 5:30 Saturday night. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the game, but not a fan of Burnley. I think it's just the style more than anything else. Van Dijk will retire here, said Jack's Page. Felix from Atletico looks really solid. He's quick, technical, would be great at LFC, but there's no way they're going to spend the cash on him at the moment. No, not a chance, mate. Not after he just moved to Atletico. You can only imagine a good year at Atletico, what his value would go up to then. Scholes couldn't tackle, didn't have the balls to take penalties, and wasn't a leader, said Bobby Ball. Didn't have the balls to take penalties. I like what you did there, pal. I know you did it on purpose as well. Lens-based media said, if I have to balance the books, Wilson in the squad doesn't cost money. I don't think we will have to balance the squad or balance the books next summer, mate. I think that's why we did what we did, or didn't do what we didn't do this summer, I should say. Jeremiah said, Emery's tactics massively failed. Craig, what do you think is the best way to beat Liverpool? That's a good question, buddy. It's a very difficult question. I mean, if you go head to head, or you go at us like Manchester City done at times, we come out on top a lot of the time. I don't know how to beat Liverpool, mate. It's a very good question. I mean, you could see what Arsenal were trying to do. They were trying to sit back, soak it up, and then use the pace of Aubameyang and Pepe with some long diagonal balls. But what Emery did, playing that midfield diamond and forcing Liverpool out wide, only played into our hands. I mean, we created most of our opportunities last year. I've said this before. Mo Salah and then Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson were our two most leading chance creators last season. So forcing us wide was only playing into our hands. Now, I don't know if they must have had some type of a plan to work with the delivery from wide areas, maybe getting out and blocking the crosses, but it didn't work. But look, I can't tell you how to beat Liverpool. If some of the best managers in the world, like you've seen the documentary about Manchester City and Guardiola in the changing rooms, and he's worried about Liverpool, and he's trying to figure out a way of beating them. And Pep Guardiola knows infinitely more about football than I will ever know. It's yeah, mate. I'm not the one to give you that answer. If it was that simple, we'd probably lose a lot more games. But it's difficult to beat this Liverpool team. It really is. We can battle We can play attractive football. We can play on the counter attack. We can go long if we need to go long because we have the pace in wide areas. Our forwards can hold the ball up if needs be. Yeah, there's not much we can't do. So it's a good question, and I don't have the answer to it, which is great. I'm happy to sit here and say I don't have the answer, because I imagine if you ask the United fan now how you beat Manchester United, they'll give you an answer, and probably various answers. If you ask a Chelsea fan, they'll probably be able to give you an answer. But if you ask a Manchester City fan or a Liverpool fan, it's more difficult. With City, you can say get up in their faces, get at them, don't let them settle, and that's worked for teams in the past, but it doesn't always work. Pogba is toxic the way he is, said Casper. Which United player would I like at Liverpool? I'm going to try and be very honest about it and not just give you a smart arse answer. Martial has a lot of potential. Definitely. Anthony Martial has a lot of potential. But do we need him? I mean, he's the only one I can think may get into our squad. De Gea before we had Alisson, but De Gea he looks like a shadow of himself. I've said all along, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to turn out to be a very, very good right back. Maguire is a steady centre back. Probably Martial, if I was to pick one, mate. But there aren't many that jump off that team sheet at me. Jack, how are you, mate? Thank you for the super chat and thank you for saying hello. Jack McNamee. Happily Egg said, to beat us, you have to play the long ball over the top and catch the second balls from your centre forward. Yeah, the problem with that is, as you said, to play those second balls, if our midfield tracks back, and let's say Henderson tracks the runs from midfield for those second balls, they can be defended against. And Dico said, Gerrard ran games and some mediocre sides. Scholes was lucky, he had quality around him. Look, Scholes was good, but Keane was much better than Paul Scholes. I mean, if we're going to try and have the conversation around midfielders and try and say X or Y, then Keane is the one you talk about, not Scholes. The Lampard conversation, the Patrick Vieira conversation, I mean, they're players that for me deserve to be in that conversation around with Steven Gerrard. Scholes, not really. Gerrard, Lampard, Vieira, Roy Keane, outside Makelele, what a midfielder he was as well. Claude Makelele was different type of midfielder, but what a midfielder he was in his days at Chelsea. Unbelievable footballer. Main reason we all dread Burnley is the memory of Jimmy Traore scoring that weird own goal. Don't blame it on Haman, don't blame it on Bishgan, blame it on Finn and blame it on Traore. Yeah, I'll never forget that fucking game. That was horrendous, mate. You're right. It could. You know what? You could well be right as well. At the back of my mind, that could be one of the reasons. It's a good show. Joe Cullen said, Craig, in your opinion, is Salah better than Hazard? And is he the best player in the league? Ooh, two difficult questions there. Is Salah better than Hazard? Yes. For us. He puts up better numbers than Hazard does. I mean, I don't want to say Eden Hazard's shit because that's just ridiculous talk. But I would rather have Salah. But I do like Eden Hazard as a footballer. Eden Hazard on form, up for it. Put in one of the best away performances I've ever seen from a player at Anfield. I mean, Eden Hazard is capable of a lot. But I think I would prefer Mo. Is Mo the best player in the league? No, probably not, if I'm being honest. I think if Kevin De Bruyne is on form, 100%, fully fit, I don't think there's many better in the league, to be honest, than De Bruyne. I think he's fucking sensational as a footballer. The man can just glide through games, make it look effortless. Yeah, I mean, he's up there. Sadio's going to be in that conversation as well. Van Dijk obviously in the conversation, but I'm trying to be brutally honest about it. I think if everybody's playing to the maximum of their abilities, Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the Premier League, for me. And it kills me to say that, because I don't want to give that accolade to a City player. But he is fucking good, Kevin De Bruyne. He really is good. You can't find the Ivan Needle pass with that midfield, said Rodder 1. Only see us possibly losing the City away this season, said the Cop Council. Yeah, Connor, how are you, by the way? Connor Nibbler. Yeah, it's going to be the 2 games against City this season. I think will have a big impact. I know stating the bleeding obvious, but on the Premier League title. Last season, if we'd have just picked up 1 win in those 2 games, we could have won the league. Look, you can say that about other games as well. If you had beaten United, if you had beaten Everton, but the 2 gamer reckons 1-0 to the Reds against Burnley at the weekend. I'm going for 2-0, but I'm not expecting an easy game. I'm expecting our quality to show later on in the game. Mudasir is going Burnley 1, Liverpool 2. Keane said, I don't want Rafa to come back because he never done good in the league, only in Europe. Well, that's frankly not true, mate. We finished second at least once under Rafa that I can think of. Yeah, I mean, we've done as good in the league with Rafa as we have with Klopp. I mean, points-wise, we got much more. Klopp with 97 points, I can't argue with that, but still a second-place finish. And look, if you put Jurgen Klopp and Rafael Benitez in a room and said, Craig, pick me a manager now, I'm going over and I'm giving Klopp a big ass hug. But if Klopp has to move on, I'm just saying, would I be angry if Rafael Benitez came back? No, not at all. I love Rafa. Wan-Bissaka and Maguire would be good squad players, said Jeremiah. Yeah, look, Maguire, I don't know. I don't buy into this Maguire hype. He is a good Premier League centre-back. I'm not going to say that. He is. There's no denying that. But he should be nowhere near the world's most expensive centre-back. Nowhere fucking near it. The fact that he cost 80 to 85 million pound is hilarious, if I'm being quite frank about it. And the way that they tried to big him up, and by they I mean the media, I'm not talking about United fans here. The way the media tried to big him up, like giving him man of the match in his first game when Rashford scored 2. And he was nowhere fucking near the best player on the pitch. In fact, I would go as far as to say I thought Lindelof had a better game than Maguire in that game. And they give it to Harry Maguire. It's just, we're not idiots. We can see through this shit in the media. Nay said, Doubt will buy a better player in January. Who are you choosing? Nobody. I don't think we're going to sign anyone in January, mate. I've said all along, I think we're in for a really, really big summer next summer. A massive arrival. Yeah, if we do sign someone in January, great. I mean, whatever the manager wants to do, I just want them to be backed. Martial for our bench, said Antico. I don't mind Martial at all, I really don't. Martial is much better than overrated Firmino. Suck my nuts, Lee Gunner. Martial isn't fit to fucking shine Bobby Firmino's tattoos, mate. Or get the teeth whitening fucking products out. Come on. That's just... There's a reason why people like you get booted out with chats, mate. Because you're fucking idiots. Honestly. Fuck off with your nonsense. Martial, call him up, like, whatever your opinion. If you think Martial's better and you're that fucking deluded, fair enough. But to call Firmino overrated, mate, you know fuck all about football, or else you're just an annoying little shit. But either way, the state of it, mate, the state of it. I'm trying to hold back because I have a feeling you're probably a child, and I don't want to, go all in on a fucking a young person. I'm trying to, as a father, be a bit respectful here, but you're not showing us much fucking respect with your ridiculous comments. Maguire's a B-Tech Matip. Actually, that's something the club need to get sorted. The club need to look at Joel Matip's contract situation and get that sorted quickly. Okay, I think I have a couple of super chats to get to. Not sure if you remember, I'm Fortnite Gaming. I don't, Jack, mate, I'm sorry, I'm awful at remembering names. But thank you for coming back in, buddy, and for the super chats, and great to have you with us. Any news on Bolton, by the way? I see a couple of people mentioning Bolton in the chat. Is there any news on that potential takeover of the club? How much would you say it would cost to sign Jadon Sancho? I'd say about, look, it's going to be difficult to gauge at the end of this season, but 120 plus, I would say, Craig, at a guess. It depends on what type of a season he has, and it's impossible to guess where the market will be at next summer, but 120 plus, I would say, is realistic. Can you believe Fabinho was a Real Madrid player before Monaco? I think it was a loan. I could be wrong, Nate. I could be wrong on that, but I think he was on loan at Real Madrid. Prices between British is always overpriced. It is, but still 85 million. A fair price for Maguire, even in this market, would probably have been 50 to 60 million. Allowing for him being English, allowing for the inflated market. 88, like, I mean, I think Leicester just took the piss. And fair fucks to them, they got the money. Stephen Booker reckons Sancho 150 million plus. Maguire is just rated because he's English, at Craig Adams. Sancho 100 million for cocky guy. Boya said, did somebody say top 4? Yeah, congratulations to Leicester as things currently sit on 7 points. I think at 4th place in the league, Anthony. Is it 7 or 5? 5 points actually for Leicester, isn't it? Let me get the old Premier League table up here and just check. 5 points for Leicester sitting in 4th place, mate. Nothing wrong with it. Can you keep it up though, Anthony? That is going to be the challenge. Jack said, been watching since 2K. Thank you, mate. Like, I still can't believe people have been with us that long. It is mad, isn't it? I say that long, like, what? 2K was probably only about a year ago. Maybe just over a year ago. I can't believe where we are now as a channel, mate. It's madness. Honestly, I can't believe we've over 20,000 subscribers. Still pinch myself. You can say, yeah, but you're tiny. You look at other accounts like the United Stand, over 500,000, Redmen TV, but they're a lot longer than us in the industry, and love them. Great lads, do great stuff, all of them. But I'm happy with our little numbers. Of course, I wanted to push on. So again, if you are enjoying the stream, please do hit the subscribe button. Mark said Gomez is better than Maguire. Boya said, by the way, don't think we'll get top 4, but you bet to God I'm going to enjoy it while we're in it. And do you know what, mate? That's the beauty of football, isn't it, Anthony? You're supposed to enjoy it, mate. If you weren't enjoying it, that would be more worrying. Enjoy being in 4th place, mate. Enjoy you doing well. That's what being a fan is about, buddy. You got to enjoy these moments. Would you rather Maddison or Fernandes? I've seen more of Maddison, but I know other people would rate Fernandes higher. Now this season, I will keep an eye. I think did he already have 3 assists or something for Sporting? I'll keep an eye on Fernandes this season a lot more than I did previously. Probably. It's easier to make an argument for Bruno Fernandes because he's already put up numbers, albeit in the Portuguese league, but he's already put up numbers. But I do like James Maddison as a footballer. I really do. What do you guys think? It's a good question for the chat, actually, Mark. Maddison or Fernandes? Colin said, your year again, lol. Brilliant, Colin. Mate, honestly, a little suggestion. Your banter's shit. I imagine you're a bit of a dick as well, but our year again, lol. Do you want to remind me, mate? How many European Cups? 6 European. We're the champions of Europe. Is that what you're saying, Colin? Right, I get you. Super Cup winners as well, mate. Yes, okay, I get you now. Most successful club in England. Right, I get you. Probably will be our year, Colin. Yeah, we probably will be pulling in more fucking trophies, pal. I don't know who you support, mate, whether you're a United fan or whatever, and if you are, it ain't going to be your fucking year, princess. Happily Egg said, player prices have been way too inflated this season. Agents, what's this thought? With a short window, English clubs would be gone wild in a panic. They got a shock. We hardly spent anything. You're one of those pricks, Colin, that just comes in and goes, just says like, always the victims and stuff like that, aren't you? You are one of them. I can tell by your shitty little sniggery attitude, mate. You are one of them. And you know, if you say lol to your own comments, mate, stay to you. Lol in your own fucking comments, mate. If something's funny, people will know it's funny. But the problem with little piss ants like you, Colin, is you're not fucking funny, princess. You're just not. Leave the hilarity to the bald superstars, the real funny fuckers. And you just carry on about your little pissant life, going around going, it's going to be your year again. Oh, mate, honestly. You should start your own YouTube channel and just call it, I don't know, lols. Because you seem to fucking love that word and think you're hilarious. Were you one of these people that your mammy tells you you're funny and special little boy? And you'll always be a special little boy? And you're funny little boy? And any woman would be lucky to have you, Colin. She's lying to you, pal. She's lying to you. You seem like a bit of a dick. Michael Teague said 21k. Whoop whoop. Player prices have been way too inflated this season at Happily Eggs. Gone through that one. Sean O'Donnell, how are you, pal? Welcome in. Who do I want us to get in the Champions League draw? I don't mind, mate. I honestly don't mind. We're champions of Europe. Nobody's going to want to play us. We're in pot 1, so in theory, we should have an easier draw than last season, where, you know, Napoli, PSG and Red Star wasn't an easy group. I don't know. I'm just excited about it. It's Champions League football, and whoever we get, it's going to be fun, and I'm going to enjoy the ride. Click Daily UK said, new to this channel. Welcome in, mate. You probably hear me having a go at a few other people, but here's the way this channel works for anyone that is new. You come in and you show the people in the chat respect. You will get it back from me and everybody else, and you will get love, and you will get nothing but positivity. You come in and act like a dick, you're not going to be here very long, because we work hard to keep this channel fun, friendly, positive, and little piss ants like our friend from a few minutes ago that come in trying to play Billy Big Bollocks. They'll be gone. They'll be gone. All they'll be left to do is just hit that thumbs down button and piss off into insignificance. But like yourself, Click Daily, mate, welcome in. Great to have you with us. Appreciate your time. Kyle Payne said, Craig, might sound a little strange question, but who do you think will get the next statue outside Anfield? No idea. No idea, pal. Yeah, I don't know. Do we need any more statues outside Anfield? Yeah, I don't know, mate. I honestly haven't really given that one much thought. Probably nobody would be my answer. Stop talking about 6. We're on a stairway to 7. Oh, Darren. Now, there you go. That deserved a lol. That's the type of shit that gets a lol. Darren's funny. Well in, Darren. I like that, mate. Well, yeah. Nice one. Stairway to 7. I'm having it. See? There you go. You get... Look, even Colin lols, said Brian. You get it. Funny people get lols. But anyway, that was a good comment. Do you think United just want the most expensive centre-back so they're willing to pay 80 million? No, I think they've needed a centre-back, Jan, for a couple of seasons now. There was always talk of them being linked to... what's-his-face from Napoli? Jesus Christ. Why do I always draw a blank when I'm trying to think of the most obvious people in the world? Oh my God. Centre-back, Napoli. Come on, I'm gone blank here. Yeah, they were linked to him for a very long time anyway. Didn't work out. Napoli wanted 100 million plus. Carlo Ancelotti actually said if they sold him, he would fucking leave, even though he's only just arrived. Where are we gone? Koulibaly, yes, thank you. Yeah, they've been linked to Koulibaly for quite a long time. Maguire, again, another name they were linked with. They could have gotten a better footballer in Koulibaly, but they needed that centre-back. Clubs knew that they needed that centre-back. They knew they kind of had United by the short and curlies, and Leicester held out and got a very good price for a decent centre-back. Take a bow, Darren, said Graham Holmes. Yeah, honestly, well in, mate. That was a great comment. They should go treat themselves. Oh, I love that you remember that. I hope all the oldies in the channel will understand when we say treat yourself, what that means. I thought Stevie would have gotten one. Why? You captain of a Champions League winning squad, but I mean, Phil Thompson, same thing. Crazy Horse before that. I mean, the beauty about being a club like Liverpool is that there's so many legends at the club. You could be building statues for quite a long time, mate. You could be keeping people in business making statues. 3 points on Saturday, said Gary Richards. Nothing less, mate. Nothing less going into the international break. We need to get those 3 points. Can we trade Lallana for Maddison? I don't think it would be a fair trade, mate, but I mean, I've been honest. You can go back and check streams. I've been saying for quite a while I would have moved Adam Lallana on this summer. I think it would have been the last year you'd have probably gotten a good fee for him because of his age. But Kloppo seems to love him, and I mean, who am I to second guess Jurgen Klopp? I don't think Lallana will have a massive impact on our season this year, but again, a thorough professional, somebody who Klopp seems to value very highly, and it'll be interesting to see how much of a part he plays. Divock Origi statue, they don't have enough, mate. You couldn't get enough metal. You know where I'm coming from here, Colin? You just couldn't get enough, mate. You'd have to back order that shit. You'd probably be waiting a few years. And then trying to make a cast to make it. I mean, who do you measure it against? Do you know what I mean? Do you take a real measure of Divock? in which case the statue is going to have to be raised up off the ground quite a bit, because, do you know what I mean? You get where I'm coming from? Big dick energy. Koulibaly, yes. You guys know me at this point. My brain at times just switches off completely. Let me just check my notes, because I know I'm forgetting shit. Oh yes, for the referee on Saturday, Chris Kavanagh is going to be the referee when the Reds travel to Turf Moor to face Burnley on Saturday evening, and Michael Oliver will be the official overseeing VAR for the game. How much is Maguire worth compared to Van Dijk? I'd say he's worth 60% of Virgil van Dijk. So whatever value you want to place on Virgil van Dijk, 60 to 65% of that. Do I think he'll leave in 2022? Klopp? Probably. That's the vibe I'm starting to pick up. But as I said before, mate, it's a very long time away. Would you mind Jose Mourinho coming in? You can fuck right off, Jose Mourinho. Mourinho's been bitter ever since Rafa Benitez got the job. Because it seemed like, and what I'd read, that Jose wanted the job when Rafa got it. And it was between Mourinho and Rafa Benitez. And Liverpool went with Benitez. And Mourinho went to Chelsea. No, I don't want Jose Mourinho and his all about me negative attitude anywhere near our football club. Thank you very much. I wonder what it would have been like though if he had have come in. I mean, we won the Champions League with Rafa, but Jose, he's a good manager. Was a good manager. Still maybe has a bit to come back and prove now. I mean, it sounds a bit disrespectful, and it probably is me being disrespectful to say that a manager that's won as much as Jose Mourinho has won has something to prove. But I wonder if football's maybe moved on a little bit. But he is a good manager. But no, I don't want him anywhere near Liverpool. Pep Linders would take over, said Doug. It is certainly what a lot of people are thinking tonight, mate. Do you think Wijnaldum will be the next to wear number 7 after Milner? God, I haven't thought about that at all. No, it'll be Sancho or Mbappe, mate, to wear number 7, or Kai Havertz when they come in. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm going with this one, Callum. I'm being an optimist, buddy. I wonder what money we could get for Lallana. In the summer, I would have thought around the 30 million mark, Sir Sev. But again, in this market, it's difficult to gauge. Callum said, I'm more nervous this game than Arsenal, especially from Barnes and Burnley. I'm more nervous about Burnley than Arsenal as well. I'm not going to lie. I've said the wee build up to the Arsenal game, I was very confident we were going to win that game. I think we'll win this game, but I think we'll grind it out more than we had to do against Arsenal. Against Arsenal, I always felt like we'd another gear or two we could go through. And if Arsenal had to come back, we would have just steamrolled them more than we already did. But away against Burnley, with Burnley in decent enough form, and Barnes very confident after the start of the season he's had after he scored 4 goals, maybe more already. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think we'll get it done. I think we'll win 2-0. That's my prediction, but it's not going to be an easy game. Have I read your super chat? Which one, mate? I'm still playing catch up with the chat. Yeah, I think I have. There's no new ones in the chat. You had a sore head, collided with a keeper in a match. Mate, you don't need to put a super chat in. I appreciate the super chat, thank you. But you don't need to put a super chat in, buddy, for comments like that. But sorry to hear about your sore head, mate. I remember as a keeper once, I went up to collect a cross, Jack. We were playing against Sheriff Street, and I went up to collect the cross, and I got elbowed straight in the face, nose burst open, and your man kicks the ball into the goal, and the referee gave it. I'll never forget it. I'm standing there, blood all over my face, because some fuckers elbowed me, and the ref gave it. I mean, yeah, so I get you. I'm sorry to hear about your sore head, mate. I hope you feel better soon. And, mate, if, make sure that, I don't know what age you are, buddy, but make sure that if you have any symptoms of concussion or anything like that, you speak to an adult or your doctor. You don't want to fuck about with head injuries. Are you relieved we never got Pepe, or is it just me? I'm not relieved, John, but I said at the time, I can't think of many players that Liverpool were linked to and didn't sign really linked to, that have made us look foolish. And all summer, what we were told by the British-based media from Melissa Reddy and the likes is that we've no interest in Nicolas Pepe, and that Michael Edwards rang Lille to say that we've no interest in Nicolas Pepe. And all summer we were told by foreign journalists that Liverpool definitely were interested, yada yada yada. Well, we weren't. So am I relieved we didn't get him? No. I want whoever Jurgen Klopp wants. And if Jurgen Klopp had have wanted Pepe, then I'd be sitting here going, shit, that's great. Not great that we didn't get the player our manager wanted, but if we weren't interested in him, then, you know, I've no ill feelings towards Pepe. Go and have a grand career wherever. What about Ten Hag as a coach? Definitely one to watch. Gearcast, definitely. Yeah, someone said it to me again last night. Definitely someone to keep an eye on. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Crosby Red said we'll take a 1-0 against Burnley as long as they don't batter any of our players. Yeah, we don't want a repeat of last season where, you know, one of our players gets a fractured fucking leg. Did we? Am I right in saying we didn't even get a foul for that at the time? John Paul Smith said, "I'm from Sheriff Street. That Sheriff team's a gang of gimps." Yeah, I was only 14 or something at the time, mate. So I was still quite young, playing out there against Sheriff Street, and yeah, elbow to the face. I think the referee was just fucking nervous, mate. I think he was worried about the abuse he was getting from the sides and stuff. Even as a kid, you could feel that the referee felt a bit intimidated. Grabara. Yes, Camille Grabara has come out actually. He's been talking about the disastrous spell so far for his loan club Huddersfield. So Jan Siewert has been sacked, as we know, and results haven't been great for Huddersfield so far this season. And Camille Grabara has been speaking about it, and he said, "I always believe in myself, but the results have had an impact or an effect on that. We're not making as many points that we want to make." Again, you know, translation here, probably not the best way to phrase that, but anyway, he said, "We're not making as many points as we want to make. I can say what I want, but I cannot change the results. I was in an environment at Liverpool where they did not lose many games in a season, but when I was on loan before, I had experience where we lost 7 games in a row. Maybe that's not something to be proud of, but I know how it is already. I came here to help the boys and the players to help me improve. It sounds simple, but we need to stick together, and if not, we're going to get worse." He is a good young goalkeeper, Camille Grabara, and somebody I genuinely think will make it at the top level. Sometimes like that it happens. You go to a club, the manager that's brought you in gets the boo, and things go tits up. And I think Liverpool will be looking at the situation. This will help him, as he's talking about already. He's learning from it. It'll help him his development. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up on that one. Because Grabara, you know, somebody who is out on loan. Queven Kelleher stayed here. Shamal George moved on. So I just, when I seen that today, I thought I'd let you guys know about it. Who do I think will win the Premier League or Champions League, and who do I think are favourites? I would make City favourites to win the Premier League and the Champions League. God, you can make, as I said the other night, you can make arguments for Liverpool, City, Juventus. You can make an argument for Atletico. It's impossible to know what way what way Real Madrid and Barcelona will go in Europe. I would make us favourites, you know, for the Champions League. As bold as that sounds. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but back-to-back finalists. Won it last year. Nobody's going to want to play us. I think without being too arrogant, we deserve to have the mantle of perhaps favourites. But for the Premier League, I would make Manchester City favourites. Where did Shamal George go? Did he go to Tranmere? If my memory's shocking, Jack. I think he might have went to Tranmere, but somebody might correct me if I'm wrong in the chat on that one. Mark, I'm not getting into the conversation around male and female pundits, mate. I'm staying well clear of that grenade. I'm not touching it. My opinion on all of that type of stuff in general, without any specifics, is whoever is the best person for the job should get that job. Male, female, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Whoever is the best person for any job should get the job. I'm not getting into that. I don't judge anyone because they're male or female. I judge them at their capabilities of doing a job, not because of their sex or their capabilities of doing anything. I don't judge anybody by their sex. That's just ridiculous, quite frankly. I'm not saying you are, Mark. Sorry, I'm not saying you are, Paul. The Cop Council said at least another Champions League final. PSG will not win the Champions League. No, they won't. Not a hope. Not a hope. Jack, you're 12. Right, Jack, if you're 12, mate, then I have a serious question to ask here. And something that I need an answer to because I'm worried about this. How are you putting super chats in if you're 12, mate? Now, if you're using your parents' card and you're using it fraudulently, this shit's got to stop, pal. Yes, I genuinely need an answer, mate, as to how you're putting in super chats, because I don't want you doing or spending money you don't have. I don't want you spending your parents' money that you're not allowed to spend, mate. I'm trying to be respectful to the whole situation here, and when somebody makes me aware that they're a minor, it's my job to look out for them, pal. So I'm trying to do that here for you. You are welcome in the chat, mate. No problem whatsoever. It's just you put in quite a few super chats tonight, and I don't want you getting into trouble, or I don't want you using your parents' cards if you're not supposed to. I'm trying to do this from a good place, buddy. Any news on Alisson's injury? It looks like after the international break we could have some more progress with Alisson coming back. He looks like he's a little bit further along or closer to coming back than Naby Keita, but I think after the international break. What's a super chat? Okay, so at the bottom of your screen, mate, where you put in your comment, if you're on a computer, you'll see like the smiley face logo, and beside that you'll see a $sign logo. The $sign logo is where you put in a super chat, and it basically means that your chat gets highlighted in the chat so that the person who's doing the stream can see it, and it's a way of giving a donation while getting your chat read out as well. I didn't even know they existed when I started on YouTube. That's how new to all of this I was. John Bale said, well said, Craig. Mate, look, for all my faults, and I've got many of them, and I spout nonsense a lot of the time, I always try and look out for younger people in the chat, mate, because I'm a parent. First and foremost on here, I'm a parent of 2 kids, so I want to make sure that, one, the young man is okay, that Jack's alright, and I want to make sure that he's he's not getting himself into trouble or doing anything wrong, because, as I said, I'm a parent. You said you asked him for you're not concerning me, Jack, mate. No, not at all. But I appreciate the fact that you told me that you were 12, mate. I respect you for that, and I'll make sure that I look out for you in the chat and that as well, which I try and do with anyone that I know is under the age of 18, mate. But if it's all okay with your parents, I mean, that's I just have to ask, mate. Number 7 coming home said nay. I hope so. Be nice, 7 Heaven, as somebody said earlier on. Is Naby made of Weetabix? No, I don't think so. I have a very itchy ear tonight. Sorry, if you see me doing this a lot, it's not because I'm trying to think in a weird way. I hope not. He hasn't had the greatest of starts as Liverpool career, mate. He has picked up a few injuries, but I hope he can get past them this season. The Dugout said, positivity, guys. Number 7 is coming home. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, I hope it is, mate. It'd be fucking lovely, wouldn't it? Oh, God, do you think we're unbearable now? Can you imagine we added another European Cup, Doug? That would be ridiculous, buddy. Doug's going to be somebody who we're going to have on a few more shows as the season goes on as well. I was very impressed speaking to Doug the other day. I thought he spoke very well about the game, and I really enjoyed our conversation. So yeah, going to hear a little bit more of Doug as the season goes on. And again, don't forget to check out his channel, The Dugout, as you can see there. Doug makes his own content, so please do go over there and hit the subscribe button. Same for LFC or LFC. I keep doing it, don't I, Anthony? How many months or years, mate, you going to be here before I stop making that mistake? Same for Leicester City FC boy, Anthony. Great account. Please do go over and subscribe to him as well. Graham said, just in case you missed it earlier, that guy with the season ticket will be up on Friday for the Dundee Derby. He gets 5 tickets under his name for Anfield and sells them. Oh, nice one, mate. If you do have a word, either put him in touch with me, buddy, if needs be. If you want to contact me by email, we can sort that out. But if ever there's 2 tickets going, Graham, myself and Connor would, with a bit of notice, obviously, to sort out a way over, would love them. Thank you so much, Graham. What else we got? In Istanbul, we'll make it 7 times. Only 3 subscribers away from 21,800 folks. So if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do me a massive favour and hit that subscribe button and get us past 21,800. I haven't even mentioned Football Index tonight. The link is in the description below if you want to help the channel and sign up to Football Index. If you're thinking of signing up anyway, is what I'm saying, use the link in the description below and use the code AA. Football Index is a football gambling product where you buy shares in footballers using real money. 18 plus, UK and Ireland residents only. And if you have any issues with gambling, begambleaware.org is there to help you out. I've bragged about Football Index and how my portfolio is doing quite well. I'm waiting for Connor to get over this throat infection, and then we'll have a proper chat around it on the stream, and we can see how Mr. Crosby is getting on. I know Craig Adams is doing quite well with his shares and his players. We went through last night, we spoke about players that were increasing in value, and Wilson was one of those players, obviously, after his impressive goal against Man City. Scotty said Doug spoke very well in the Arsenal post-match. He did indeed. Did you watch the new Dave Chappelle special on Netflix? There's 2 of them, isn't there? I've seen them both, Brad. Love Dave Chappelle. He's absolutely amazing. And he's after doing a block party type thing in Iowa, I think it was, to raise money after the mass shootings over there. And he had Kanye West there with him as well, and many other celebrities. I mean, Dave Chappelle's just a good dude, isn't he? Good dude and an amazing comic. Craig Adams said Leicester going to be trouble this season. Yeah, they're going to be good. They're a good side, a good young side as well. And Boy was very happy in the chat earlier on that they're currently sitting in 4th place. Lewis said, would you rather 2 more Champions League in this season, or in this season, next season, or win the Premier League? Win the Premier League. Lewis, mate, I can't lie. That is what I want more than anything, is for Liverpool to finally get this monkey off our back, mate, and win the Premier League. Just to get a fucking out of the way. Have I got a fantasy team? Yes, I do, mate. We have a fantasy league that's closed to new entries, I should say, but we do have a fantasy league, the Blood Husky Premier League, and we also have an Anfield Agenda head-to-head FPL, which I've won 3 out of 3 in, by the way, not to brag because I'm shit at it. I don't know how I've won my 3 head-to-head games so far, but I have won 3 out of 3. And I think I'm about 50th in the Anfield Agenda League, which probably sounds shit, but bear in mind, there's about 700 people in the league. So for me, that's amazing. Craig Adams said, love Football Index, but don't get how Robbo has gone to -4. I don't know how they work things out on there, mate. I don't know what their algorithms are. If I did, we'd probably all be very wealthy, actually, if we knew that. Every Tuesday for the next 6 weeks, I'm learning to travel independently because of my Asperger's. Said Scotty, I hope it goes well for you, mate. Nothing but love, buddy, you know that. And yeah, let us know how you get on, but I do hope it goes well for you, mate. Do I work? I've answered this question so many times, mate, on the stream that I can't even get into the spiel anymore. I don't do a 9 to 5 because I can't, because of my life and because of me, basically. But I've answered it a load of times before, mate. But let me put it this way. I don't make a living from this. I don't take a penny. I haven't taken a penny out of this since we started. Now, we've used it for travel and stuff. We've funded a trip to Florida, but myself and Connor haven't taken a penny's wage from Anfield Agenda, not 1 red cent since the channel started. So this ain't my job, if that's the next question. Morgan said subbed on my girlfriend's account. I like it, mate. Well in. We're only 2 away now from 21,800. Good man, Morgan. I like it, mate. Love the dedication. Appreciate it. Kyle said, Craig, I'm thinking when we win the Premier League that other fans will slag us about it. Fuck them, Kyle. In the words of the great Dave Henry, fuck them. Let them slag. I mean, how do you slag somebody that's just won the Premier League and the Champions League as well recently? I mean, if we're going to get slagged for that, then it's probably the best thing we could ever get slagged over. Halfway to Chelsea's record unbeaten home run of 86 games, said somebody else. 4 frickin' years unbeaten at Stamford Bridge. That is a tremendous achievement, to be fair. Absolutely. It is a brilliant achievement. I mean, I'm over the moon with our 2 years plus at Anfield, but yeah, that 4-year unbeaten run was ridiculous, to be fair, at home. That is a fortress, and you got to give them credit. I hate giving them credit, but credit where it's due. Go, Nads. Talk to you later, mate. Oh, sorry. I thought you were going in a nice way. Anyway, that's a Brian Morrissey question, go Nads. I'm not jumping into it on the chat. Graham Sanks said, my son's name is Connor, so I'll email him sometime next week when I hear the info. Every time Dundee playing the same day as us, even if Man U were playing. No problem, mate. I really appreciate that, Graham. Thank you. If you're on Twitter, Graham, mate, just hit me up on there as well and we can sort it out over there. But if there ever is any spares going, Graham, very much would appreciate them. Now, don't want to put you under any pressure, pal. And obviously we'll pay whatever the going rate is. No worries there. And it was Liverpool that broke their record, said the Cop Council. Yeah, look, it is a tremendous record, though. You got to give them that. What's the story with the Toronto FC shirt? Everybody always asks me this when I don't wear Liverpool shirts. I collect football shirts, mate. Last year when I was over in Orlando, I bought a few shirts. I bought the Toronto shirt. I bought the LAFC shirt. I bought the... what's the other one I bought? The Columbus Crew away shirt and a few other bits and pieces. I just like football shirts, buddy. I'm an absolute chav that wears football shirts all the time. Don't wear any of the Premier League shirts, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I do just wear football shirts. Don't have any affiliation or any love for Toronto. Obviously Orlando, having been to Orlando 5 times in recent years, is if I did have an allegiance to an MLS club, I'd probably lean towards Orlando. Although I do like Atlanta's ground, I have to say. That Mercedes-Benz Arena, I know it's the Falcons ground, but fuck me, what a stadium that is. Been a good stream, like usual. Same time Wednesday, said John. Yes, mate, same time Wednesday. Can we see your collection of shirts? I mean, how do I show you that, Mark? Like, that would be a pain in the arse of a stream. And, I mean, I don't know. Someday, maybe, yeah. I mean, I'd have to... See, when you talk about my collection of shirts, mate, I used to work and own a memorabilia company, so I have a shit ton of signed merchandise as well. So, like, I have a Pele shirt, Maradona shirt, a load of Liverpool shirts, and a few other bits and bobs. So some of the stuff is here, some of the stuff's in attics, some of the stuff's in parents-in-law's houses. But my football shirts that I wear on a day-to-day basis, they're pretty much all in my wardrobe. A few of them up in the attic, but... someday, maybe, yeah. I mean, I think it'd be a boring ass stream for people, me just going through all the football shirts, but I could model them. Nobody wants to see me modelling anything, Christine. Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to call that a night. Just a reminder that tomorrow I won't be here. I'm taking tomorrow off, but Brian and Billy will be here with the Fantasy Premier League show. That'll be going out live at 8:45 tomorrow night, so I hope you can join us for that one. If you haven't subscribed and want to do me a favour before we finish up, please do hit that subscribe button. Get us past 21,800. With that, ladies and gents, I will talk to you amazing people on Wednesday. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we'll start the build up to the Burnley game on Wednesday. Thank you so much as always for your time tonight. To anyone that was new, that was watching for the first time, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. To our regulars, you know we love you. Take care of your family, ladies and gents. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up to motherfucking Reds.